All right, questions for Coach? Anyone?
All right, that's as quick as interview.
Carson, go ahead.
Coach, I know that you've talked about what DeAndre brings to this defense previously, but obviously just considering what he's been through injury-wise over the past couple of years, what's it like for you to just see him out there healthy again? And do you feel like he has a sort of special enthusiasm and appreciation for being out there since he has been through all these injuries?
Yeah, I think as an athlete, you never understand what you have until it's taken away from you or you can no longer do it. And for DeAndre, a guy that came into Boise playing a lot of football as a freshman and then as a sophomore, and then the last 2 years having kind of, these kind of random injuries. I've been around him his whole life, obviously, and he's never been hurt. Now having back-to-back injuries, I think he's back to having fun. Just enjoying the game of football, playing again. He's healthy. He's enjoying the process that he's going through here at Arizona State. And obviously being with the guys that he played with prior when he was younger, I think that's an added benefit. But I think just getting back to football, man, it's a kid's game. You love to do it, and when it's taken away from you, it hurts.
Chris Gardner. Chris.
Hey, Pete, sorry. When you have USC right out of the gate and you have to be playing at a peak level against them, what are the thoughts about how you make sure that you are firing on all cylinders right from the jump to start a season?
No need to throw the whole kitchen sink at the players. Allow them to play fast, take away the mental errors, allow them to get comfortable, get into a rhythm of the game. There's a bit of anxiety. There's no preseason, right? You jump right into it with the big dogs. And I think for our guys, one, you have to calm down their emotions. They're going to be excited about playing USC. They're going to be fired up about the opportunity just to play football after we've watched, several other college programs play. But from a coach's standpoint, it's just, try to keep it as simple as possible. Allow them to play fast. So you really limit the mental errors. As you watch college football, you see the missed tackles, you see the physical errors, but it's also the mental errors that's killing a lot of teams as well.
Oh.
Hey, P, I know that last year's game against USC was really weird from a defensive standpoint. First quarter, nothing went your way, but the last three quarters, you limited them to 3 points. I mean, just reflecting back on that game, I mean, can you take some of the approach from that year and maybe treat it as a proven formula, or do you really have to just throw something totally different at them, especially out of the gates?
No, I think for our whole team last year, we started slow, especially on defensive side of the ball, giving up a ton of points out the gate, not limiting that offense or any offense to, 3 and out, giving our offense field position. And that's what the game of football is all about. So for us, it's about starting fast. That's been our theme throughout this 2020 COVID deal. And now that we've been in training camp preparing for USC, it's about starting fast, getting out the gate with the energy, the passion, and obviously the execution early on in the game.
Doug Howlett.
Hi, AP. Chris Hawkins was asked yesterday about going back to SC where he had played 5 or 6 years ago. Have you talked, you've gone through that. You've gone back to Tucson and coached at a place where you played. Have you talked to him about the emotions that he might feel? And if not, just what emotions did you feel when you went back to Tucson for the first time?
Yeah, for me personally, yeah, it was a little weird. I'd never been in a visitor's locker room. I didn't know what that was like. I think for Chris, it's going to be the same way. But at the end of the day, he got a game to coach. Hell, he's not playing. He got to guard those receivers and worry about that quarterback. He needs to coach up Jack and Chase Lucas and Evan Fields. So I think, once he gets through pregame, that goes out the system. And it's no different than when you play football. Once you get that first contact, that first hit, everything's out the window. You go back to playing ball. So hopefully for him, he's very familiar with the scenery at the Coliseum, and he's dialed into what we're doing here at ASU.
Jacob.
Hey, AP, I'm curious what you've noticed to be the greatest challenges for your defense when it comes to practicing against Zach Hill's offense compared to what they had to practice against last year. So what new challenges does this present for your defense?
Your eyes. Get your eyes in the right place, man. Zach, they doing this. It's like Chinese checkers, man. Don't look at all the bluff. It's like just be careful what you're looking at and you're staring at. The keys. It really challenges you, especially in college football with the RPO action and the tempo. And the things that they're doing offensively, it really challenges our players to make sure they're dialed in, looking to what they need to look at, holding their leverage, playing basically assignment-free football, you know what I mean, and mistake-free football in that sense. So it's been great preparation for us. I know our guys at times get frustrated with it. And I don't know if we'll see that from a lot of teams in Pac-12. There's a few that do it, but obviously it's really challenging for our guys from a visual standpoint because you can get, how we call it, dirty eyes.
Michelle.
Hey, Pete. From a preparation standpoint, both mentally and physically, is your team where they need to be right now, or would you say they're ahead of schedule, behind schedule?
Hey, Michelle, we've had 8 months of freshness. We're ready to play ball. I think our guys are excited. They're fired up. You couldn't ask for nothing better to kick off our college football season. Prime time in the Coliseum against those Trojans, USC. I'm not worried about our guys being ready to play. It's just about controlling our emotions and not making the mistakes where you say, God, why did we do that? It's because the guy's playing out of control or, you know, so we got to calm our heart rate down, control our heart rate, slow it down, and just be dialed in. And again, like I keep going back to it, keep things simple.
Oh,
AP, as the saying goes, sometimes it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and Joes. And when you look at USC, I mean, granted, they have a scheme that works for them, but when you have really exceptional athletes at quarterback and wide receiver, I mean, from your perspective, is that really what really makes them more tick than rather running this scheme versus another?
I don't know if you looked at our roster, but I like our Jimmies and Joes. I think they're pretty good. You know, so I'll take those guys. We've been building this roster now for the last 3 seasons. We feel we have a team that can compete in the Pac-12 at a high level. And I'm excited for the whole nation and Sun Devil Nation to see how these guys play. I think they're going to hold up to the standard that we think we can do, and they've been talking about it. And the talking got to stop, you know, next Saturday at 9 o'clock, and we got to play ball.
Zach Keenan.
Hey, AP, how you doing this morning?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Can you give us an update on the freshman linebackers, Will, Caleb, and Jordan, how they're progressing so far?
Yeah, hey, they're not redshirting. They're not redshirting. They'll be playing. They'll be ready to go. Like I tell my backers, we don't do it. We don't need many of them. But they're doing a great job of just being sponges. I've said it before. Obviously, the guys who have started and played here for us, and Butler and Soley and Merlin have done a great job of leading the way, showing them how we practice, the tempo we practice, the amount of passion and energy we want to have at practice, and those guys are trying to match it. And I think like any freshman you come in, you have expectation, oh, this is going to be easy. And all of a sudden, everything starts going in every different direction, and you kind of get lost at times, and you're frustrated at times, but each and every day you can see them working on something to get better. And for me, what I'm proud of is, you know, when they have a bad day, they come back to work with notepad, pen, and paper. They're taking notes. They're asking questions. These guys want to be great. And that's the first step. It's their preparation in the classroom. And that's what I'm most impressed with these guys.
Chris.
Coach, what are your thoughts about where you're at from a pass rush standpoint, both when you bring 4 and also when you bring extra guys?
Yeah, it's good. I think, you know, if you start inside out, you look at the Jermaine Lolays of the world and DJ Davis's and TJ, we should be really good. We feel really comfortable and confident about that group getting the push. And then on the outside, you know, and we mentioned it, you know, kind of by the committee with Matus and Shannon and Stanley and Tyler and Amiri and those guys, you know, getting them going. But it's working collectively, you know, and I think Coach Rodriguez has done a great job of working with these guys with their hands, their technique, their fundamentals. We should be better in that department. And then obviously from Marvin and myself, you know, we got to put schemes in to get these guys some one-on-one matchups and take advantage of some special players that we feel can rush the pass.
Michael.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time. Ashari said the other day that he wasn't making any bones about it. He feels that you guys do have the best secondary in the conference, and he knows that there's going to be a target on their back. I mean, through this point, how do you feel that their communication, I mean, even from last year to this year, has grown and just working together as a group to be as dominant as they want to be?
Yeah, I think Ashari and the rest of the group can talk about it all they want, and I can talk about it as well. But we'll be on full showcase next Saturday, so we'll know then. You know, the SC's probably going to throw the ball 50 to 60 times like they normally do. And we'll see. They got really good receivers on that side of the ball with USC. They're very talented. A lot of, I'm sure, NFL prospects in that group, and those guys have visions to play in the NFL, and we'll see. We'll see if our guys are up to it. We can talk about it all day. I'm not going to talk about it. They got to go show up. We got to show up next Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, man. Have a good one, fellas.
Thanks, AP.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.